Historians tell us civilization began only 10,000 years ago. They claim that for nearly a million years before that, humans were basically useless. We didn't speak any language, we had no culture, and we couldn't even build a simple wooden shelter. No settlements, nothing. They think we just wandered around, grunting and gathering berries. But somehow, for millions of years, animals like beavers and birds were smart enough to build houses and dams, even nests and shelters. And we humans lived in caves and couldn't figure out how to pile branches together to build a bungalow. Today, we're going to completely shatter this twisted mainstream timeline of human civilization because, quite honestly, it is absurd. In Israel, there's an 800,000-year-old archaeological site that proves people lived there permanently. We know it because of several continuous fire pits that burnt in the same place for years. From the archaeological findings, we know that early humans cooked fish there. Let's start with Gesher Binat Yaakov in Israel. This wasn't just a campsite. We're talking about layers upon layers of evidence showing people lived here permanently for many years. Same spot, same fire pits, same organized living areas. The humans who lived here caught fish year-round. They had designated spaces for different tasks. They controlled fire like we do. Yet, according to modern archaeologists, 800,000 years ago, people lived in caves only. Then, how come this site exists outside of a cave? It's in the middle of a field, it's completely exposed, no natural shelter, nothing. So either these prehistoric humans sat outside in brutal weather for many years like idiots, or they built wooden structures that simply rotted away over 800,000 years. You might argue that there is no proof of the buildings ever being there. However, there's an answer for that too, because we've found a 500,000-year-old man-made wooden platform in Zambia. It consists of interlocking logs with notched joints engineered at right angles. This thing was deliberately built by the same humans that lived at Gesher Binat Yaakov, Homo heidelbergensis. The archaeologist Larry Burham said it best.
This is a disruptive discovery. I never would have thought pre-Homo sapiens would have had the capacity to plan something like this.
The only reason we found it is because it was buried in waterlogged sediments that prevent decay. Statistically speaking, for this to happen, the odds are under 1 in a million. How many thousands of other structures just disappeared over the large span of time? Because they weren't so lucky to fall under the right conditions to persevere. Think about it. If our entire civilization collapsed tomorrow, what would be left in 100,000 years? Almost nothing. No buildings, no books, no evidence of our technology. Just some stone tools and weird soil patterns. The only thing that would be left is rocks like the pyramids and Mount Rushmore. But within a million years, they too would disappear. And we are a global civilization with concrete and steel. And I know some of you think satellites will persevere as well, but they won't. On average, it takes around 25 years for a satellite to fall out of orbit. Now imagine trying to find evidence of people who built everything from wood and plants 800,000 years ago. Within 100 years after their deaths, there would be little clue as to what their houses were. And building from wood doesn't mean they were primitive. Over half the houses in the United States are built from wood. Here's what really destroys the mainstream narrative that humans were stupid. Look at what humans are. We have no fur. We can't digest raw food properly. Our babies are helpless for years. We are literally built for domestic lives. Our guts are designed for cooked food. Our skin assumes we will wear clothes. And language, it's pretty easy to prove our ancestors had language. We have specialized brain regions just for complex speech. We carry the FOXP2 gene for vocalization. Even isolated kids will spontaneously invent languages with full grammar. That means language is biological. We are built this way. These traits existed 300,000 years ago. Neanderthals even had them too, which means our common ancestor, Homo heidelbergensis, probably had them as well. These traits only evolve if they are already being used. You need language to coordinate communities. You need planning to build settlements. You need all of this working together. For whatever reason, the mainstream historians want us to believe humans had the hardware for civilization for hundreds of thousands of years, but we only switched it on 50,000 years ago. That's like saying we had smartphones for centuries, but only figured out how to turn them on last Tuesday. Look at the evidence differently. Some groups were nomadic, sure. Adaptation goes in all directions. Some humans settled, some wandered. Both strategies work. We still do both today. Although the majority of people rely on civilization for food, there are still those who hunt or gather. The truth is, we've been assuming that the absence of evidence equals evidence of absence. We can't find wooden houses from 800,000 years ago, so we assume they never existed. But that's not what science is supposed to be, or history for that matter. Sometimes we need to use logic instead of looking for solid evidence, because there is no logic about people living out in the open for many years exposed to the environment. Gesher Binot Yakov and Colombo Falls are glimpses of a pattern we're only starting to see now. Early humans weren't primitive. They built, they planned, they created communities. The only difference between them and us is that time ate their evidence. Humanity didn't suddenly wake up 50,000 years ago. We've been awake the whole time. We just forgot how far back we woke up. I'm Dank Sissoko and thank you for watching Into the Unknown. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think we've been getting human history completely wrong? And if you are into unknown and lost civilizations, I'm sure you will like my episode on this lost empire that ruled the Amazon rainforest 10,000 years ago. See you there.